What's up, guys? I'm Chase.
And I'm Landon, and today we're giving you everything you need to know about the Air Jordan 4 Retro White Oreo and how to... All right, so first, thank you guys for stopping by to check us out. Now let's start off with the basic info for this release before we move on. So this Jordan 4 is set to release this weekend on July 3rd, pending any delay, with a retail price of $190. And that release time is going to be set for 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern time on the Sneakers app. So just make sure you don't forget to turn on notifications just to remind yourself to enter. And it isn't showing it right now, but I would expect this to be a Sneakers draw. So you'll have 10 minutes to enter once they become available. But I'd be ready to go for them whenever the clock hits the hour, just in case. But for sizing, this is going to be a full family size release with big kids at $150, little kids at $80, and then toddler all the way down at $60. But that pretty much covers the date and the time. So let's take a closer look at the overall design and the reason for the hype on these. All right, so the hype is probably coming from a combination of the model and the colorway on these. So the Jordan 4 shoe line, it always does pretty well over time, unless you look at like the University Blues that just released. I mean, they did great pretty much immediately because people go crazy over that baby blue. But this is a really nice look on this shoe. So these are labeled the White Oreo, very fitting, of course. Probably why they named it that, but the color scheme plays so nice on this shoe. You have the white tumbled leather making up like the base for the upper, like the middle portion of this shoe, and then you're gonna have that cement gray on the midsole, which is probably my favorite touch on this shoe, and it's all wrapped up with the fire red on the tongue. So this gray and white go really well together on this shoe. I'm actually pretty excited for this release. I'm not really an overly big fan of like the Jordan 4 model itself. They look pretty blocky on my feet, but like in general, Nike did really well with this release in my opinion. But that covers the design and the hype, so let's move on. All right, so for Raffles and reservations, there aren't many options available at the time of this recording, with the release still being a little ways out, but I would expect some options to begin opening up pretty soon as long as the release date doesn't get pushed back. So both like in-store or online options, so just make sure you keep an eye on the How to Cop side of our website, which is www.shoeware.co, and that's where we will be updating like Raffles every day as they continue to open and close. And you can also like just refer back to this video because we're going to leave a link in the description to our blog post, so that's just another way that you could access that info. But now I'm going to let Chase take over so he can let you know what sites are releasing these, what the aftermarket looks like, and your best chance on how to compare.
Thanks, Landon. So starting off, let's look at the sites that are dropping these Oreo 4s. So starting off at 10 a.m. Eastern time, you have Champ Sports, DTLR, Finish Line, Foot Locker, Foot Action, Hibbett Sports, JD Sports, Nike Sneakers, Shop Nice Kicks, and YCMC. Now, at the time of this recording, these are the only confirmed sites, but I expect other sites like Jimmy Jazz, Kith, Shoe Palace to be dropping them as well. So just keep a lookout on their socials for the most up-to-date info. But moving on, let's look at the average sale prices on the aftermarket. Now, as a disclaimer, the prices you see could change as we move closer to the drop, but also in our blog post, there will be links to all of the marketplaces for you guys to check out closer to the release date. But starting off, StockX is at an average selling price of $350. Goat's sitting at $325, eBay is at $300, and Flight Club is at $315. So I wanted to introduce you guys to a new segment called Drop Day. This is a section where we're going to cover exactly how I would attempt to maximize my chances of copping. All right, let's dive in. So starting off with Finish Line, JD Sports, Foot Locker, and its sister sites, I would go to their calendars 30 minutes before the drop, click on the actual page for this sneaker. And then from there, you don't really have to do much until it's around closer to the drop. So around 5 minutes before the 10 a.m. drop time, their queue should kick in. And what you'll have to do from the sneaker page is just refresh, and then you should be put into the queue. Now, once you're sitting in the queue, I would move my focus onto YCMC. Now, YCMC will sell out fast, so my only tip is to be signed into PayPal and to be on the Jordan category of their website. And then 10 a.m. will hit, and then all you have to do is refresh and try to check out as fast as you can. And lastly, you have Nike Sneakers, which will luckily be a draw for these 4s, so you'll be able to focus on YCMC for the first 5 minutes, and then if you check out, then you can move on to Nike Sneakers in the last 5 minutes and enter your size. When it comes down to stock numbers, I predict the stock to be somewhat high since these are releasing in full family sizing, and usually when Nike does this and releases them in full family sizing, it's usually labeled as a general release. Now, to give you some more insight last release of the Retro 4 was the University Blue colorway, and those stock numbers was around 80,000 pairs, at least in the United States. So I would expect similar numbers for the Oreos as well. Now for my resale prediction, I predicted prices to be around $240 to $260. Now that's going to net you a profit anywhere between $20 and $40 per pair. Now, should you hold or sell these Oreos? Before giving my opinion, I will be assuming that you will be holding for more than 3 months. Now, my recommendation is to actually sell. I just feel like these 4s will not perform as well as the previous colorway, the University Blue, but I do think they will go up in value like almost all sneakers do. I just don't know if it's worth your time, especially with the higher price range of $200. So overall, if it were for me, I would sell and enjoy the profit.
All right, so that's going to wrap it up for episode 38 of How to Cop with the Air Jordan 4 White Oreo. Thank you guys for stopping by to check us out. And for more sneaker news, our available shoes for sale, and just anything that we do, click the link in our bio and check that out.
Also, feel free to comment, interact below to let us know what shoe or sneaker you want to hear about next. But until next episode, peace.